All right, some breaking news at Georgia with AD Mitchell going into the transfer portal. Heard about this a lot starting in December, and it really died down over time. And then Georgia took in two receivers in the transfer portal, one from State and one from Mizzou. And here we are with one of the most productive players that Georgia's had at receiver when he's healthy is now headed to the transfer portal. So this will, there will be some work to be done, so to speak. Um, but now, I mean, I don't think this is a surprise to Kirby and them by any stretch of the imagination. But if you take a look at the biggest problem for AD, and this is really the only problem he had, was in 2022. He was just banged up too much. I mean, he only played in 6 games, 9 receptions, he had 3 touchdowns, won a national championship game. Obviously, the game-winning catch against Ohio State, only 134 yards. When you compare where he was starting to go at the end of the 21 season to what 2022 is like, it was not an ideal situation um, for AD, unfortunately. But he really has some exceptional playmaking ability. The catch against Alabama will go down in Georgia history. The catch against Ohio State will go down in Georgia history, which begs the question, why are you transferring? I don't know the answer, to be honest with you. I mean, you know, first, number one, this is a new part of college football. Guys are just transferring. It's just what it is. Um, but there's a big difference between Dominique Blaylock and MJ Sherman transferring and AD Mitchell transferring. I'm not sure there's a legitimate explanation uh, for AD Mitchell leaving Georgia if he's going to get more playing time or more catches at Alabama or USC or Texas or wherever. I mean, you got to be healthy. That was the. I mean, then that's not a judgment on AD. It's just what it was. He just didn't. He was not healthy in 2022. That was the biggest barrier to him getting more catches and more playing time. And then B, you know, I'm USC has a wonderful quarterback situation. I would not say that about Texas. I would certainly not say that about anywhere Alabama or whatever. But I mean the place you hear the most is Texas. But I have to tell you that generally speaking that is not a good situation at Texas. The quarterback is not what everybody thought he would be, and Texas didn't look good this past year. They looked good against Alabama and lost. So we'll just see what happens. I understand. I know the guy. AD. I'm one of the few people that's talked to him on the record, and he's from Houston, and maybe there's a draw to go back home. I don't know, and I'm not judging it. I think that if it's for him, if this is the right move for him, then that's what he needs to do. Now, I can't speak to the explanation. I don't know of one. I don't know that it makes sense to leave. But, this is where we're at in the new world of college football, and it's what it is. So hey, pick up Double Dogs today. Uh, Make sure that we're going to run out of the confetti at some stage soon here. This is a great play from Stetson against Tennessee. That's on the cover. Pick it up today while you can, and you'll get the confetti soon. I will not be able to offer the confetti, but I want to make sure that the early adapters here, folks who come on early, they get a little bit of benefit uh, at the beginning of things. But I know we're going to run out soon, and we're well past the pace we were a season ago. So, what does next year look like? Um, what does next season look like now that the Dogs are in the position that they're in? Um, you know, you've got the return of Lad McConkey, which he announced yesterday on Tuesday, I think it was. That was not really a surprise necessarily, but that's going to be your number one. So you're going to return your number one receiving tight end, your number one receiving wide receiver, but then you got you got two transfers coming in with Rara Thomas, the receiver coming from Missouri. You've got Marcus Rosemary-Jack Saint is really a guy who's got an opportunity in front of him here to have an explosive 2023. And Oscar Delp, you've got Dylan Bell. There's no shortage. There's no shortage of pass catchers at Georgia, and you have a quarterback who is lethal in Carson Beck. I mean, a guy that really can. Uh, he has looked good when he's gone in and thrown. So he's not been asked to do that a lot, but he has looked good. So this could be a Georgia team that looks a little different next year. But the truth is that AD just did not play enough in 2022 for us to. I mean, if he doesn't make that catch against Ohio State, probably someone else does, just to be frank. But what you're losing is a guy that can, go down the field, a burner. But you're returning Arian Smith, right? I mean, Georgia doesn't do things in vacuums anymore. There's not like things don't surprise them. They're aware of what's going on, and that's why they went and added two of the most productive returning guys in the league. I am going to be very curious to see where AD goes because, if it's Texas, then that makes a lot of sense in terms of going, home, for lack of a better term. I don't think it's a great move for if you're trying to win national championships, but it makes sense if you're trying to go closer to home. I mean, University of Texas is close enough to Houston. It's certainly a lot closer than Athens. If you're going to go to SC, you know, the moves that we've seen from receivers moving, you know, so far that's not worked out as well for the receiver as you would hope or like. The young man that transferred from Pitt to SC, he won the Blitnikoff Award at Pitt, didn't win it at SC. I don't know if that means that you're not doing as well. I don't know. The same thing with Jermaine, who went to Alabama. And Alabama's going to have some turnover at receiver. When you make these changes, we don't know what we don't know. We don't know if Caleb Williams could get hurt. Same thing could happen Texas's quarterback situation is not good right now. Quinn Ewers does not look good. And Arch Manning coming in, it's going to be a lot for Arch Manning. When's the last time a freshman came in and really burned it up? A true freshman. These are not common things. Is Arch Manning Trevor Lawrence? I don't know. I mean, and Arch Manning is not going to be playing in the ACC and not getting half the year where he's not starting and all this stuff. I mean, there were some things that happened at Clemson with Trevor that you're not going to get at Texas or Georgia or Alabama or these places. So I think Georgia will be fine. Georgia will enter the season number one. Georgia will be the favorite to win the league. They'll be favored to win the national championship. This doesn't really affect that. I just am curious. I am curious as to why you would leave. What is the motivation for leaving? Was it a great NIL deal at Texas or SC? Was it, getting closer to home? Was it, you're tired of, being at Georgia? I mean, these are all things that could be true at the same time. So we'll see. But the heavy, whispers are Texas. But once you're in the portal, you're in the portal, and you can kind of do whatever you want to do. It doesn't mean he wouldn't come back. I mean, to me, it means he won't come back to Georgia, but it doesn't preclude you from going back to Georgia. It just means you're in the portal. That's all, and other people can recruit you. It may be as time goes on here that everybody goes into the portal basically after every season and just sees what happens. But between the winning at Georgia, the way that George Pickens barely played in 2021, he became a top 50 NFL draft pick. I think it was something like that. He's killing it in the NFL right now. So, we're going to see if this pans out. But people don't do things because they're wanting to make mistakes. AD views this as the best way for him. We don't know what future holds, it very well could be the best move for AD. That'd be great for him. Um, it's just it's a little bit hard to explain I don't know the reasons, and that's up to AD to say or not say as time goes on. Thanks for watching. Check out the website.